ushers, guides, mentors, midwives, ombudsmen, even voices in a yurt. They serve a useful purpose in a confusing world. Provide direction, like human maps, personal GPS. Maybe we need more of them. When I read the papers, I'm sure of it. Another 20-year-old shot in the back of the head. A young father sentenced to prison for manslaughter in the shaking death of his baby. A 14-year-old boy rapes a 7-year-old boy, his neighbor. A 77-year-old man is convicted of luring 10-year-olds into his house with pop and candy and then taking nude pictures of them. Businessmen, lawyers, bankers, even they need help. The world at war. The daily news is a cry for help. Social ushers, officers of some kind of justice. What do you think? People need help. My wife is an art teacher, also a volunteer usher. She knows what a yurt is. She teaches at a school located in what is called the inner city. She asked her class of fourth graders what dangerous job they would like a robot to do for them. Going outside, one of her students wrote. Maybe what the world needs is ushers, chaperones, valets, escorts. But it wouldn't work, would it? Because the only way an usher can operate is if you've got a ticket. If you haven't got a ticket, if you don't know where you're going, if you're not even hearing voices, if you're lost, what good is an usher? Do you know where you're going? This year we sent out Christmas cards, as usual. Not long after, there was a message on the answering machine from the husband of a friend of my wife, an old friend, someone she hasn't seen in years, but they exchanged Christmas cards. That was unusual that he would call. My wife returned his call and he said, "Thank you for the card, but I thought I should tell you that Barb is no longer with us." "You mean she left?" my wife said. "She's gone?" "She's dead," the man said. "She took her own life." He said he had no idea why. She had gone to work that day like any other, left early, saying nothing, went home, got a blanket and a gun, drove out to a place she particularly liked by the river, where she spread the blanket, sat down and blew her head off. My wife said she thought maybe Barb found out that her husband was cheating on her. "No," I said, "then she'd have blown his head off." Back when my wife knew her, Barb was an exuberant person, curly-haired, fun-loving. She and her husband lived in Nebraska. They didn't have any kids. He couldn't figure out why she'd done it, hadn't seen it coming, he said. Suicides, I read earlier today, are supposed to act mainly out of sorrow or anger. I'd pick sorrow for Barb. I think she got to the point where sorrow was all she had left. She just ran out of everything else. Attachments, things that would keep her tied to this world, like the string on a balloon or a kite. She just ran out of gas, empty, running on loneliness. That won't take you far. About as far as the favorite spot by the river you might want to see for one last lonely time. Then you're done. I don't think an usher could have helped her. If I'd have been there when she was leaving work, and I'd have asked her, "Can I help you? Do you know where you're going?" There might have been a hesitation, a slight catch in her voice, but not enough to make me notice when she said, "No thanks, I can get there by myself." And programs? Would that help? What if we could hand out programs, This is what will happen, and who you will see, and who you will be. This is going to be your life. That old TV show, This Is Your Life, with people from the past of some celebrity. What if you could show someone the future like that? Would that help to cushion the blow? I don't think so. Would you really want to know? It would spoil the good news, ruin the pleasant jolt of surprise, and it would tack the bad stuff up there like a looming shadow, the unavoidable doom, increasingly obscuring, eclipsing your life. Talk about living in darkness. Imagine you're a fortune teller. And one day this young man, Lindbergh, comes in. He's about to try something no one has ever attempted. A solo flight in an airplane across the Atlantic Ocean. And he's curious. He wants to know what you think about his chances. And you look into your crystal ball, or the tea leaves, or the cards, whatever you're using, and you smile and you say, "Oh, congratulations, Colonel Lindbergh. You're going to make that flight safely, and the world will celebrate you as a great hero." He's relieved, and he thanks you, and he gets up to go, but you reach out and grab his hand and you say, "Wait, don't go. There's more." Because, like the joke goes, there's the good news and the bad news. And if he learned it all of it, would he get in that plane the next day and take off? We're better off not knowing some things. Living in darkness. It's bad enough that we know we're going to die. Animals don't know about that. It takes them by surprise. A dog is sick and weak. What the heck is going on? They can't quite figure it out. My job as an usher is to take you where it will happen, not to give it all away. The stuff we don't know is one of the main things that keeps us going, attaching us to one day after another, even if we find ourselves sitting in a yurt. There's nobody around? Fine. We start hearing voices. We're all artists, in that sense. Well, there you go. They're getting ready to start. I think everyone's seated. You're most welcome, and I hope you enjoy the show.